YouTube, what's up everyone? Welcome back, man. This is it right here. This might be the most important video ever made on crypto because something massive just happened and it's being completely ignored by mainstream media. Go figure. Morgan Stanley, one of the biggest banks on the planet, they just went public on XRP. And when I tell you this changes everything, I mean it changes everything. This isn't some random rumor. This is straight out of a legal filing, banking journal, and financial data. And when you connect the dots, it paints a picture so wild, so deep, that it almost feels like it wasn't supposed to get out there. But here's the truth. Bitcoin's about to go parabolic. But what's about to happen to XRP, it could be generational. So stay with me because within the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why Ripple just positioned itself as the next global settlement layer, how the world's biggest money is preparing to flood in, and why Morgan Stanley might be the ultimate green light before XRP rockets to triple digits. Let's jump into it. Up first, we got this clip from Michael Saylor. We're going to start with Bitcoin because it all starts with Bitcoin. That's the gateway. That's the highway. And then they come over to the greatest asset to ever exist, XRP. Look, when Bitcoin moves, everything else follows. Make no mistake about it. Michael Saylor, the man who turned MicroStrategy into a Bitcoin fortress, he just said he's willing to burn the keys to over 17,000 Bitcoin. That's over $2 billion gone forever. Let that sink in. Any quotes in here? That's my legacy. Let that sink in. Listen up.
Charity, which is you'll just leave your money to the human race, and everybody that believes what I believe, right? I believe in Satoshi and his vision, sovereignty, property rights, freedom, economic empowerment, economic immortality. I believe nobody should be able to steal your money. I believe you should get to keep it. And so if I believe that and I burn those keys, then I have made everybody in the network that much richer and more powerful forever. And they have the option to do the same, or maybe they'll use that power for good in a way that they deem to be appropriate. And you're like, well, who'd you give the most power to? I gave the most power to the person that believed the most what I believe, right? I mean, everybody has the choice to join the network with $1, $100, $1 million, $1 billion, or $1 trillion, right? So everybody gets to join and we're all in it together from now to eternity. So yeah, that's my legacy.
There you go. Look, he's not doing this for hype. He's signaling conviction at a level that we have never seen before. And you already know when Bitcoin rips, well, that liquidity bleeds out into the rest of crypto. It's the spark that lights the wildfire, and the smart money knows this. They're not chasing pumps. They're positioning early for what comes after Bitcoin's move. That means Ethereum, that means Solana, and yes, that means XRP, because once Bitcoin dominates the headlines, guess what? The real rotation, it begins. And then we get this. Let's look at this chart real quick. This is a 4D image looking over the Bitcoin chart. This is the setup that nobody is ready for. Right now is Bitcoin is sitting at what we like to call the short and selling zone, right? The final trap before the breakout. Retail's taking profit. You see the narrative on Twitter. They're saying that the bull run is over. We're in a bear market. It's just not the case because just under the surface, whales are accumulating like crazy. And I got proof for you. The red zone, well, that's your shakeout zone. The yellow zone, that's the capitulation event. And once that's done, the next move could send Bitcoin into a higher six-figure, maybe even close to $250,000 by early 2026. You see that massive green block? That's still untapped. That's not hopium right there. That's math. That's supply shock. That is ETF inflows. So when I say don't get shaken out, I mean it. Don't get shaken out because what's coming next will catch 99% of people off guard. And you want confirmation about all this, that this isn't just retail hype? Well, there you go. Here's your proof. You see it on your screen. BlackRock, they just purchased over 6,450 Bitcoin. Let that number sink in. 6,450 Bitcoin. This is the world's largest asset manager. They don't buy memes. They don't buy dreams, they buy certainty. And now they're quietly moving deeper into crypto while the average investor is still waiting for the bottom. Come on, folks. But here's the twist. Bitcoin's the cover move. Because when traditional institutions move into Bitcoin, they're really just testing the rails. Once these pipes are open, XRP, that becomes the infrastructure play. It's not about price. It's about plumbing the financial system. And that is exactly what Ripple has been building for over a decade. And let's not forget, if you're still scratching your heads and these calls are going to come to an end soon, look, I'm getting booked. I'm getting swamped. These are supposed to be me and you one-on-one. We go over everything. I want to make sure when you are done, you are the smartest person in the room. And that's what we do. We go from how to cash out, how to diversify, strategies, plans, over the counter, setting up your crypto company, which is either your LLC or your S Corp, and get into crypto over there. This is the call that you need to book today, and the link is down below. Then we get this from Nate. Let me blow this up. This is huge. You see what you're looking at here? This doesn't bring a smile to your face. I don't know what's going to. We are on track for $1 trillion in ETF inflows this year. $1 trillion in ETF inflows this year. That's institutional money, folks. They're here. This is the institutional part of the crypto cycle. You know, that kind of liquidity that just stays in Bitcoin? No chance. No chance. That kind of capital spills into the entire crypto ecosystem. But here's where it gets wild. When our XRP ET gets approved, maybe it's this month, maybe it's next month. We'll see when the government decides it wants to reopen, which the insiders are already whispering about that it's coming and multiple are coming at once. We could see a setup that could push XRP into that 3-digit territory. That's $100 per XRP for an asset that's sitting at $3. That's not speculation. It's the logical next step when we look at the global liquidity and we look for real utility and settlement use case. Look, XRP isn't a meme coin. Sorry to say. It's a financial instrument that's engineered for the next era of global payments. And you know who knows it? The institutions know it. And then look at this, the part that no one saw coming, the playbook, it flipped. One of the biggest Bitcoin maxis, XRP haters, fudders, you knew it. Right here. Good old Layla. Well, she flipped. She's going long on XRP. Listen up. Let's break it down.
So the entire crypto market is pumping right now. Bitcoin is about to break all-time highs, and not just Bitcoin, but XRP. So because October is always very bullish, I actually took a long about 20 minutes ago on XRP. So I'm going to flip my camera and show you, and I've already just hit TP1. That's how quickly, in 19 minutes. So the camera. So as you can see, this is the long here. That was my entry. We've got a stop loss. These are my 3 TPs, and I'm going with 27x leverage. Literally 19 minutes later, I'm up 26.1% because XRP is pumping, and I think it's going to continue to pump. And that is why I've got 2 more TPs that I think I'm going to hit.
Look, when your loudest critics start switching sides, something's cooking. Am I right? That's capitulation from the top down. Look, because even the maxis, they see what's happening out there. The banks are testing RippleNet. The central bank digital currencies are exploring the XRP ledger. And the regulators, well, they finally stopped fighting it. Why? Because they need it. The old Bitcoin good XRP bad narrative, it's dead. Get it out the window, folks. And the smartest money, it's already positioning for what comes next. Let's go deep here for a second though. Under the radar, the XRP ledger ecosystem is evolving quietly, strategically, and globally. The Browser Group just partnered with Conduit, building on-chain infrastructure. And guess what's powering it? If you guessed the XRPL, dinga dinga dinga. They're deploying USDB and BBRL on Ripple's ledger. Conduit is a Boston fintech firm, literally said that they are using BBRL in their payment stack. That means Ripple's tech is now part of real-world institutional grade money flow. These aren't experiments. These are all integrations. And each one tightens the web, connecting banks, fintechs, and governments directly to the XRP ledger and to all the rails that are being built worldwide. That's how revolutions start. Not with a bang, but with infrastructure, folks. And then you know what happens after that? The big boys start to come. they start to push the capital and money, and they start pushing and they start promoting it. And that's when it gets absolutely insane. And that's where we're going with this thing. And then Smoke puts this out just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier out there, couldn't get any wilder. This is the headline you came for, and you're going to get it, and you're going to get it in a big way. Morgan Stanley, one of the most powerful banking institutions in the world, has publicly acknowledged Ripple as a leading international payment alternative to SWIFT. Now, we just heard from SWIFT at their Cybos conference, right? What did they say? Oh, we're doing a prototype. Cool, 10 years. You're going to start a prototype. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Guess what? This race is over. Ripple crossed the finish line. Good luck catching up. The fact that you have Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Citi already knowing who Ripple is, what Ripple does, and meeting with the top executives at Ripple, and you are just trying to start now, Swift, I wish you luck. This is straight from the Review of Banking and Financial Law. You see it on your screen. That literally says Ripple's tech could shorten settlements periods, speed up transactions, and reduce fraud. That's banking language for, guess what? We're switching systems. Think about that. The same banking giants that built Swift, they're now saying that Ripple is the upgrade. Are you kidding me? I've been here 8 years. I've been waiting for this moment. This is the exact moment when Blockbuster admitted that Netflix won. Well, we all know what happened to Blockbuster, right? I think there's only one Blockbuster left, if I'm right, in Minnesota or something, like a physical store. Something like that, right? Netflix won. Well, Swift, sorry. Nice knowing you. Pack your bags, because this isn't speculation anymore. We got validation from the top down. And when you combine that with ETF flows, the partnerships, the sentiment flip, it's clear. It is crystal clear. The next global payment standard is being formed right in front of us. Let that sink in for a second. Morgan Stanley considers Ripple to be a leading international payment alternative to SWIFT. That's massive. Absolutely massive. So here's the bottom line, folks. Bitcoin lights the fire. We all know that. That's your gateway. That's your highway. That is how we onboard everyone into the crypto game. The ETFs, they fuel the fire. But XRP is the system that carries it into the next financial age. The institutions have already chosen sides, and it's not just Bitcoin anymore. It is very obvious it's not just about Bitcoin anymore. Morgan Stanley, their mission, it isn't a coincidence. It is a signal. A quiet announcement that the future of finance is being rewritten and Ripple is holding the pen. So whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't matter because it is happening. The rotation has begun. And when the dust settles, XRP might not just be a token. It might be the backbone of the new financial world. Don't blink, because what's coming next, it's going to make 2017 and 2021 look like practice rounds. Smash that like button. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know how long have you been part of the XRP army, and make sure you subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, because you know what? We're just getting started. The flippening, well, the flippening is real. And this time, the world's banks, they're the ones holding the bags.